Why that open like it was a soda? Ah, man. What? The heck are you talking about? Oh, boy. Okay. Where do we start? First off, let's, okay. We are good right here. I got way too many tabs open. Unfortunately, it has to be this way because of some nonsense. Ah, boy. All right. Let's get this going. Whoo, boy. Let's take a look at a few things as we get ourselves ready. This is gonna be. It's gonna be October. Was that? November was the. You know what? It made it. It made it. It made it. It made it. Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I ain't gonna be mad. I ain't gonna be mad at that. All right. Really don't know where we gonna start from here today, but we gotta get something going. Also, I need to check this man's stats because, like, legitimately, they about to be 11-2. Man, they're gonna smoke us in a few weeks. You know what? I don't think this counts today, so that'll be 23 touchdowns and 6. Okay, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I think he can get to 30. I think he can get to 30 because that'll be 23. I think they haven't added the 2. So 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a QBR of 73. What is his passer rating? Let me look at this. He's got a passer rating of 110. Okay. So let's see. He's got a passer rating of 110, QBR of 73. I'm pretty sure he's done for this game. So for this game here, let me see here. So yeah, honestly, he's got the numbers. He's got the numbers, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He got the number. It's not the biggest of numbers, but honestly, even still, I mean, 6 interceptions. I'm not the biggest fan of 6 interceptions. Can he keep it to under 10? That's all I need. He's got to keep it to under 10. Passer rating of 126, 2 touchdowns, 282. Listen, if he can, I need 30 touchdowns. This is the end of week 13. There'll be 11. They're going to be, the game's over now. 11-2. They got 4 more games left. They can get to 13, if not 14 wins. So let me see. If this ends up being 13, let's say the Patriots go 13-4 or 14-3, and Drake May can keep it to under 10 interceptions, but he gives me 30 touchdowns. I think Drake May can win MVP. Matthew Stafford's performance was so bad, people are looking at this and saying the door is actually open up for Drake May. Drake May right now, if we're adding the 2 touchdowns, he's got 23 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. His passer rating's his passer rating's at 110. He had a passer rating of 126 today, so it's only going to go up to like 112 or something like that. So he's got a high passer rating. He's top 5. He's probably top 10 or top 5 in passer rating, top 5, and he's top 3, in fact, in QBR. He's going to have 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions so far. There's 4 more games left. I think he can get to 30. The Patriots will probably be around 13 or 14 wins. They could end up getting the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think Drake May could win the MVP. I think there's a real path. Drake May can win MVP. I legitimately believe Drake May can win MVP. Matthew Stafford's performance has opened up the door for Drake May to win MVP, especially because his team has the best record in the AFC. So I think Drake May can win MVP. But That's not what we're here to talk about. I'm just thinking they got 4 more games left. I think at 11-2, they're gonna win at least 2 of their final 4 games. I could see them winning 4 of the final 4 games. They've been playing so great, legitimately. The quarterback's gonna get it. A quarterback is gonna get it, Spirit. If Jonathan Taylor had a couple moments where he could have got it, but there was some weeks where he fell off. But legitimately, I think right now with Stafford's stumble and the Patriots now being first place, they're fighting with the Broncos. We'll see who gets the #1 seed. But the Patriots right now at 11-2 with the best record in football and the best record in the AFC. Right now, legitimately, I think Drake May could win MVP. I need 30 touchdowns from Drake May. Give me, because there's 4 more games left. He's got 23. You know what? I'm not even going to ask for 30. Give me 28 touchdowns. Give me 28 touchdowns. Keep the interceptions to under 10. Win 13, 14 games. Get the #1 seed in the AFC. And I think Drake May is going to win MVP, which would be pretty cool because, I mean, he's had an amazing year. Last year's quarterback class, you know, this is nasty. Well, okay. Well, Penix is different. Penix got injured, so that's how it is. But it's crazy. Penix nearly made the playoffs last year. Jaden Daniels had the best rookie season out of all his draft class and went to the went to the NFC Championship game. That happened last year. This year, Caleb's got the best record in the NFC, or one of the best records in the NFC. He's leading his division, could win that division and make the playoffs. Bo Nix and Drake May are going band for band right now for the #1 seed in the AFC. All of a sudden, that draft class done really shined. Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, if he can stay healthy. I mean, those quarterbacks are doing their thing. It's this year 2. It's year 2, and everybody's shining. That's crazy. How often do you see this where every quarterback, or damn near every quarterback that was picked in the draft, is shining 2 years in? Jaden had his shine year 1, and Michael Penix had somewhat of a shine because they were very close to making the playoffs. And now this year, even though last year you saw some shine because Bo Nix made the playoffs last year, and Caleb, they were having a good year and things went crazy, you know, after the Commanders game. But now you're looking at this. Drake May could win MVP. Caleb Williams has revived the Bears. And Bo Nix has got the Broncos going band for band with the Patriots for the #1 seed. Look at all these quarterbacks. They were drafted last year. We're in year 2, and all these quarterbacks are working out. That is insanity. This class, we'll see how things age, but this class has the potential to be the best quarterback draft class this millennium. It might be one of those classes that could compare with like the legendary draft classes that we've seen. I'm just saying, we'll see, but it's year 2, and you're looking at this. Everyone is having success in that draft class. Penix had some success last year. Jaden had his success last year, but both Penix and Jaden got hurt this year. There's nothing you can do. Injuries, they just suck. May, he's in the MVP conversation. He could end up winning MVP. Bo Nix got his team fighting for the #1 seed. Caleb's got his team winning his division and right now have a good shot, or at least a chance, to potentially get the #1 seed in the NFC. That draft class is aging beautifully, but we'll see how things go. Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. Yeah. I think he absolutely deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. Considering the fact, look at where the Patriots were last year, look at where they are right now. Yeah, the Broncos are fighting for the #1 seed, but the Broncos made the playoffs last year. They just took a step forward. The Patriots went from a team that missed the playoffs cleanly. Okay, yeah, J.J. McCarthy. Okay, so I completely... Yeah, all right, well, listen, there's going to be some duds, okay? There's going to be some duds here and there. Not every draft class is going to be perfect. I mean, look at the 2018 draft class. Lamar worked out, Allen worked out, Baker worked out, Sam Darnold worked out, Josh Rosen ain't playing football. It happens. It happens. Hell, wasn't Mason Rudolph part of that draft? He's still playing. If Aaron Rodgers is not good to go, guess who we're going to play on Sunday? Mason Rudolph. So I'm just saying, sometimes it works out, but it doesn't mean every single quarterback in the draft class is going to work. It is what it is. Josh Rosen just couldn't play. That's just it. Everybody else in that draft class, they could do something. Josh Rosen just couldn't play. That's just it. He had 1 year in Arizona. They said, no, thank you. We'll take Kyler Murray. And that man ain't played football since. But it is what it is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? What is good? What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, this is the therapy session. However, things are a bit different here. I will not lie to you. I took a break from football. I took a break. After the Ravens did everything in their power to try to ruin my Thanksgiving night, haven't we lost to Mason Rudolph? We have. We have. Believe we have. Yeah, we did. Actually, yeah, I listen. We've lost to Kenny Pickett. I'm pretty sure we've lost to Mason Rudolph. It was definitely. No, I don't know, because we might have. I would have to go back and check. In terms of the losses, because we've lost the Ben, of course, plenty of times. He's owned this division. We lost to Kenny Pickett. We lost to Russell Wilson. We haven't played Aaron Rodgers yet. Don't know if we'll play him. We nearly lost to Duck Hodges in 2019, but we won that game in overtime. We might have lost to Mason Rudolph. I don't know if he was still in Pittsburgh during the time we took some of those losses after Ben, but I'm not sure. I think Kenny Pickett may have taken over at that point. Either way, we might have lost to Mason Rudolph. Either way, the opportunity to lose to Mason Rudolph may be coming on Sunday because I have no idea what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. They lost to Rudolph when we rested our starters. Would that be 2019? That'd be 2019. Didn't we win that game? No, we didn't. We didn't. I guess that 2019 game when we rested our starters the final week of the season, Pittsburgh won that game. Pittsburgh won that game. So yeah, Mason Rudolph has beaten us, but we can at least say he beat us. He beat our backups, so that's cool. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I took a break from football. I took a break after the Ravens did a good job to ruin 2023. Was he with the Steelers in 2023? Or did we lose to him on another team? Let me see. I might check that as well. Let me see. Mason Rudolph versus the Ravens. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, he was with Pittsburgh, He was with Pittsburgh. I'm shocked. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This is when we so it's when we won. So it's the other year in 2023 where we got the number one seed, rest of the start at the final week. He's the one that played because I remember. I'm pretty sure we won in 2019. That second game we won in 2019, but 2023 we did lose to them. We did. In 2023, we lost to Mason. We didn't lose to Mason Rudolph last year. That was Russell Wilson. We lost to Mason Rudolph in 2023. It was the last week of the season in 2023. We had already secured the number one seed. We rested our starters. Mason Rudolph and the Pittsburgh Steelers came in and beat us. Okay. All right. I got you. I don't have recollection of it either. But, yeah, it happened. It happened. Anyway, we have to get started and I guess talk on this. Do they make the playoffs? Do I think they make the playoffs? I don't know. That's what we're here to talk about. Do we even care if they make the playoffs? There's a huge reason as to why the title is what it is. First of all, I took a break from football. After the Ravens did their best, they did everything in their power to try to ruin my Thanksgiving. I said, all right, cool. I'm just not going to watch football. So the Friday game, the Black Friday game between the Eagles and Bears, didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of the Sunday games. None of them. I didn't watch a single game on Sunday. And I did not watch Sunday Night Football, and I did not watch Monday Night Football. I know the result of what happened in Sunday Night Football because my uncle was watching it, so I know about that. And then Monday Night Football, I just saw the result here. But I did not sit down to watch a single football game. I didn't watch the game on Friday. I didn't watch none of the games on Sunday. I did not watch Monday night. I didn't even know the Bills beat the Steelers. I don't know what happened in that game. The only way I found out that the Bills beat the Steelers, I went on Twitter, and all of a sudden, all the Ravens flock were just sitting back and saying, well, the Ravens are back to first place. They're tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers 6-6. I'm like, oh, okay, looks like Pittsburgh got beat by Buffalo. I thought that was going to happen. Then I went and saw the final score, and I saw what happened, and I'm like, oh. And I saw Mason Rudolph actually got in the game and threw a pick. I'm like, I guess Aaron Rodgers got hurt again. And I have no idea what happened. I ended up watching Chisel Donis's recap, and I'm just thinking, oh, they must have got thrashed. Come to find out, Cook, dude, James Cook ran all over them. I think the Steelers defense gave up, I think, nearly 250 yards rushing. They got thrashed on the ground. Their defense couldn't stop the run. It was horrible. They got thrashed. I don't know how the game went as a whole, but they got thrashed. Either way, they got thrashed, and it just turned sour. I legit found out because Ravens fans were tweeting that, not to mention Steelers fans were chanting, "Fire Tomlin." They were actively chanting "Fire Tomlin" at the game. I'm seeing videos about this on Twitter, and I'm like, whoa, what? It's gotten to this point, huh? So, Steeler fans are done. Steeler fans, they have finally reached this point. We told them for years now that you guys are in this endless cycle where you guys continue to finish season with winning record and you proceed to do nothing. If you miss the playoffs by one, you'll do the same thing next year. At least you have a winning record with Tomlin. If you make the playoffs, you go one and done. Dog, they haven't won a playoff game since 2016 when they beat Kansas City 18-16 to go to the AFC Championship game. That is the last time they won a playoff game. That's sad. So you did not watch any college. I didn't watch any football games. I didn't watch the college football games. I didn't watch Black Friday, any Black Friday game. I didn't watch any Sunday games. I didn't watch any football. I stayed away from football, and legitimately, it was very therapeutic because the Ravens did everything in their power to try to ruin my Thanksgiving. And I sat back and said, you know what? I ain't watching no football. I'm not interested in watching football right now. Let me get myself away from football. I don't want to think about this right now. I want to do other things. I enjoyed my weekend. I caught up on a lot of sleep and took care of some other stuff. So that's what I did. Watched some movies. That was cool. So, I did not watch any football. I only, found out about things that happened. I also found out that the Panthers upset the Rams. I didn't watch that game. So shout out to the Panthers. They upset the Rams. And apparently, I saw a tweet where Matthew Stafford broke Tom Brady's record for the most touchdown passes in between interceptions with 28. So he threw 28 touchdown passes before his next interception. And the thing about it is someone on Twitter literally commented on that tweet where it's like, yeah, he did that and proceeded to throw back-to-back interceptions, one being a pick six. So I was like, oh, I guess that's how that went. So apparently Stafford turned the ball over 3-4 times and he had a fumble that cost him the game. So that happened. Yeah. And yeah, I think the other stuff, the Seahawks destroyed the Vikings. Funny thing is, I went into a restaurant and I actually saw the game that was playing, and I was watching, and I'm looking at that thrashing, and I'm like, damn. I walked in because I was just trying to use the bathroom, just go back to my car, and they were playing the game, and I'm looking at the Vikings get smoked. It was horrible. So yeah, there was some other stuff. Shador was playing against the Niners. He had a touchdown pass, but they got thrashed by the Niners. So cool for him. First touchdown pass. So good for him. What else happened? Oh, Houston beat the Colts and Jacksonville beat the Tennessee Titans. So now Jacksonville plays Indianapolis next week for the first place in the AFC. It's about to be messy in the AFC South. That division is up for grabs. And I told you the Colts were on a downward spiral. They had an easy schedule. They took advantage of it. But to make things worse, Daniel Jones is not healthy. He's playing on an injury, and that's only going to derail the season even more. They could end up missing the playoffs because their schedule is, they got to face off against Houston again, and they got Jacksonville twice. If they can't win those games, they're going to lose the division, and they're going to miss the playoffs. So things are getting really nasty. Really, really, really nasty for the Colts. Other than that, I don't know. What else happened? Like I said, Broncos beat the Commanders. I know about that. My uncle was watching the game. Patriots beat the Giants. I just saw the score when I was starting to stream. You know what? I don't think it really mattered what else happened. I think that was the most important. So yeah, I'm not really trying to go through all the games. I just looked at the recaps today because again, I stayed away from football. So I took after the Ravens embarrassed themselves on Thursday Night Football, just got absolutely smoked and embarrassed. I proceeded to stay away from football. Then I come today, and I see the result of yesterday, and I see the emotions from Steelers fans. They have officially given up. They have officially given up, man. Again, it's hard to say the AFC as a whole is weak. Boy wonder, I don't even know how to grade anything here. Because if we're going to be honest, the Broncos and the Patriots have a better like, look at the records in the AFC and look at the records in the NFC. There's not that much of a difference. Are you telling me the Broncos and Patriots are weaker than the Bears and the Packers? Like, come on. I'm not going to sit back and say the whole AFC is weak. No, I'm not going to sit back and say it. There's no dominance happening in the NFC. I'm gonna pull up the records right now. We can go band for the records right now. Let's take a look at the whole aspect. Let's take a look at the whole aspect here. Because if we're gonna go band for band right now, the Patriots are 11-2, the Broncos are 10-2. Just going bracket for bracket, just looking at this right now. So on the AFC side, here's what we have. Number 1 seeded Patriots 11-2. Number 2 seeded Broncos 10-2. 3 seeded Jaguars 8-4. The Ravens are embarrassing everybody at 6-6. Chargers are 8-4. Colts are 8-4. Bills are 8-4. That's what we have in the playoffs right now. In the NFC, the number 1 seeded team is the Chicago Bears at 9-3. The Rams are the 2 seed at 9-3. Eagles are 8-4. Bucks are 7-5. Seahawks are 9-2. They really should be leading their division. I don't know how they're not leading over the Rams at this point. Packers 8-3-1. Niners 9-4. Okay, we're not gonna sit back and pretend that the AFC is just this weak aspect here. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Are you impressed with the Bears? Are you impressed with what you've seen from Chicago? Has Chicago been this impressive team? Based on how Philadelphia's been playing, has Philadelphia been impressing anybody? Tampa Bay's been surviving. So I'm just saying, the only teams that have impressed me in the NFC have been the Rams, though they took a tough loss to Carolina, so I give Carolina credit. The Rams, the Seahawks, and the Niners. The NFC West is hard. Oh my God, the NFC West is heavily carrying this. We're not going to. The NFC West got 3 players. They are heavily carrying this right now. They are heavily carrying this. They are heavily carrying this. They are heavily carrying this. At least in the AFC, you got 2 teams from the AFC East in the playoffs right now, 2 teams from the AFC South, 1 team from the AFC North, and 1 team for the AFC. Actually, you have 2 teams. 2 teams from the AFC West, 2 teams from the AFC East, 2 teams from the AFC South, and 1 team from the AFC North because someone's got to win the division. That we got parity in the AFC. In the NFC, let's see. The NFC, you got 2 teams in the NFC North, 3 playoff teams from the NFC West, 1 from the NFC East, and 1 from the NFC South. I ain't trying to hear this right now. Seattle and the Rams are better than the Broncos. Well, the Broncos got a better defense. I'll give you that. No, I'll say Seattle's defense is close to Denver, but Denver's got a better defense. The Rams have a better offense than all 3 of those teams. So the Rams have a better offense, but the Broncos have the best defense. They have a better defense than Seattle. The Broncos have a better defense than Seattle, especially when healthy. But Seattle is a legitimate. Seattle probably has a more consistent offense, and the Rams have the best offense of the 3. So again, the NFC South is heavily carrying. The NFC South is heavily carrying. Where's the parity? If you take out the NFC South, what do you have in the playoff race? At least right now, the reason I can say the AFC North is trash is because all 3 of the other divisions have multiple playoff teams. The AFC East has the Patriots and the Bills in the playoffs right now. The AFC West has the Broncos and the Chargers in the playoffs. The AFC South has the Jaguars and the Colts with the Texans right behind them. The AFC North is embarrassing everybody right now. Meanwhile, in the NFC, you got 3 teams in the playoffs from the NFC. All in the NFC West. They're the only ones that have looked impressive. The Eagles haven't looked impressive. The Bears have been so-and-so. People still don't buy into Chicago. I'm just saying, we ain't going to say nothing about the AFC not being as tough as the NFC when the NFC West is carrying everybody. We ain't listening to that. The NFC West is heavily carrying right now. Packers are on the same level as the Broncos. I can make an argument with Houston's defense. Houston could be on the level of Green Bay. with Houston's defense, Houston has a top 5 defense. I can make an argument right now. Houston could be on the level of Green Bay. The only problem that you have concerns with is CJ Stroud. But guess what? People have concerns with Jordan Love. People got some concerns with Jordan Love. So it ain't 1 for 1. But that Texans defense is for real. Now I'll give you this. In terms of the NFC, the bubble teams, and we're going to go band for bubble teams, the Lions are better than the Texans, the Cowboys are better than the Steelers, and the Panthers right now, the Panthers are giving death stares to the Chiefs. So if we're talking about bubble teams, you got me. The teams that are on the bubble right now trying to make the playoffs, NFC got it. But if you're talking about teams in the playoff race right now, the only team that's embarrassing the AFC is the Ravens right now. Get the Ravens out of here. They are terrible. They are embarrassing everybody else. But the AFC is playing some real damn competitive football right now. Houston's defense is legit. Denver's defense is legit. New England's defense is legit. We got some warriors in the damn AFC. If the Ravens weren't in this bubble, I swear to you, you couldn't look at this list. Man, we getting off topic. We getting off topic right now. I've heard about Abdul Carter. Yeah, it was some disciplinary thing that he didn't play in the first quarter. And no, I know what you're trying to allude to. That is not an actual real report that was verified. No, that's not why they sat him. Okay, it's a funny joke. The funny thing is, I don't know if the media is going to address that. Are they going to ask him that question? Because somebody putting out fake content, sometimes the media falls for it and they'll ask the question. Will they fall for it? I don't know. But no, that's not it. Why he missed it. It was a disciplinary situation. I don't know if it was him not showing up to a meeting or just not listening to the coaches. It wasn't because of what that person posted. They're just messing with people. That's not real. Okay. The funny thing is that the media looks at that and think it's real. They may ask him at the press conference or ask the coaches. That would be hilarious. The thing about it is, when you get certain things like that, if you fall for the bait, it gets terrible. Okay. It gets terrible. And it can get real hilarious for the fans. It can get real hilarious for the fans. I have the Bears and Rams in the NFC Championship and Patriots and Broncos in the AFC Championship. You are putting a lot of stock in Chicago. I'm telling you, they're not who you think they are. I'm telling you for a fact that they're not who you think they are. The Bears are not who you think they are. I'm telling you this for a fact. I'm going to be honest right now. If Philadelphia don't get their crap together, the NFC title game is going to be an NFC. It's going to be an NFC West showdown in the NFC Championship game. The Bears are not better than the Seahawks, and the Bears are not better than the Niners. I'm telling you this for a fact. You're putting a lot. Our sorry team with Tyler Huntley beat them. I'm telling you right now, Chicago is not what you make them out to be. They're not. They're not better than Seattle. They're not better than San Francisco. But give credit to the Bears. They've been playing some great football, and they're doing what they're doing. Chicago is not who y'all want to make them out to be. I'm telling you this right now. Chicago is not who you make them out to be. Hopefully they can prove people wrong, because at the end of the day, you make the playoffs, it's 0-0. Everybody has a fair chance. But Chicago is not who you make them out to be. I'm telling you, Chicago don't want to see Seattle in the playoffs. They don't want to see Seattle. They don't want to see San Francisco. They don't want to see LA. Nobody wants to see the NFC West in the postseason. Nobody. Green Bay is not trying to run it with any of those. Green Bay don't want to see San Francisco nowhere near them. Green Bay right now, if Green Bay, they're the 6th seed right now. If the playoffs started today, they're going to Philadelphia. They would like a nice rematch right there. But I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to see Seattle. Nobody wants to see San Francisco. Nobody wants to see LA in the postseason. I'm just letting you know right now. The NFC West is for real. When y'all played the Bears have yet to find their identity. Okay, that you lost to Tyler Huntley. I don't care what identity you're trying to find. And that was in the middle of their winning streak, sir. Let me do this right now. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. I still don't think they're better than Seattle, and I still don't think they're better than San Francisco. I gave them credit for their record and what they're doing, but they're not better than Seattle. They're not better than San Francisco. The best teams in the NFC reside in the NFC West. I will give you this. The most impressive win they've gotten this year is against Philadelphia. And I don't know what that says about Philadelphia, because we saw them choke a lead to the Cowboys Eagles aren't exactly playing the best football right now, but I'll give you credit. Philly still has that respect. Let's look at this. Yeah, you were in the middle of a win streak when you lost them. You guys won 4 straight games when you went to Baltimore and got beat. So I'm not trying to hear this finding my identity stuff. In the middle of a 4-game winning streak, you had to still find your identity. Come on, bro. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So the wins that they have this year, they've beaten the Cowboys, which the Cowboys in week 3, if we're going to play this find their identity, the Cowboys in week 3 is not the Cowboys we see right now for obvious reasons. We're not going to bring it up. That united the team. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Commanders. Neither one of these teams are good. And they beat them by 1 point. Neither one of these teams are good. Though, I'll give you credit for the Commanders because at least Jaden played. And the Commanders did choke in that game, but shout out to the Bears for winning that. They beat the Saints. That's not a good team. The Bengals, that's not a good team. And they had Joe Flacco there. Not a good team. Giants, not a good team. And I'm looking at some of these wins. Some of the Vikings, not a good team. Steelers, not a good team. There's maybe 1 or 2 games you look at this and say they beat 2 good teams. The Eagles was a good team. Maybe the Commanders when they faced off against them. I'm not seeing close enough. The 49ers are being killed by injuries. Yeah, they're being killed by injuries and they're 9-4. I need you to understand. They're being killed by injuries and they're 9-4. What does that say about San Francisco? What does that tell you about San Francisco? The Niners have been getting killed by injuries all year. They're 9-4. The Bears are 9-3. What is that telling you, sir? When healthy, they're probably the most scariest team in the NFC. But they're not healthy. And even with injuries, they're 9-4. They're 9-4. I don't know if you checked the record. They're 9-4. So even with injuries, they're 9-4. And this aspect about them missing the playoffs, where they're 9-4. Look at the teams that are in the playoff hunt. The Lions are 7-5. The Cowboys are 6-5-1. The Panthers are 7-6. The Niners are 9-4. At this point, let me take a look at San Francisco's record because now I got to take a look at this. Who are they going to play down the stretch? They better lose. They're going to have to lose their divisional games because right now they got a heavy lead over any of these teams trying to get the wild. They're getting lucky. And Chicago hasn't been getting lucky. Let me repeat this right now. Chicago hasn't been getting lucky. Buddy, stop playing with people. Chicago beat the Commanders 25-24 after Jaden Daniels fumbled the ball on a handoff on 3rd and 1. But that's not getting lucky. So let me see. They beat the Raiders 25-24. They beat the Commanders 25-24. They beat the Bengals 47-42 after the Bengals completely forgot how to tackle a guy. 2 defenders were right there. They forgot how to tackle a guy. Great play by him. They beat the Giants 24-20. They had to pull a comeback there. They beat the Vikings 19-17. They beat the Steelers 31-28. Are these games not coming close? There's not luck into this? Come on, bro. We're not playing this, bro. We're not playing this. And again, they got smacked by the Rams at home. Yeah, I think the only team that's going to be an NFC West team is another NFC West team. And the Rams may arguably be the best overall team in the conference. So the only team that's going to beat an NFC West team is an NFC West team. Matter of fact, let me pull up. I got the Niners schedule right here too. Let me pull this up real quick. Let's look at what the Niners are doing this year. Because you're forgetting who Chicago's played and beat, and you're forgetting by how much they've won these games. You're massively overrating the Bears. You must be a Bears fan to massively overrate them like this. They beat the Seahawks. Let's see. They beat the Seahawks in week 1. Take that as you will. The Seahawks are a divisional rival, and that was an impressive win. But again, both teams are figuring themselves out week 1. Beating the Saints isn't impressive. Beating the Cardinals isn't impressive. They beat the Rams. You forgot about that. You talked about how they lost to the Rams the second time around. You forgot they beat the Rams the first time they faced off against them. So they split with the Rams. They lost to the Bucks. That's not a good one. They beat the Falcons. That's not a good team. They beat the Giants. That's not a good team. Cardinals, not a good team. Panthers are actually middle of the road. They're not a great team. Middle of the road. Browns, not a good team. So the only impressive wins they have are against their divisional rivals. And they've been doing this while also not having their starters and being injured. They haven't been 100%. So they're winning games while being heavily injured. And technically, we're going to talk about this. They've technically beaten more impressive teams because they've beaten their divisional rival. They've beaten Seattle and they beat the Rams. Those are more impressive wins. The only impressive win Chicago has is beating Philly on Friday. Beating Pittsburgh, not impressive. Especially with, I need to make sure. I want to make sure. You beat the Steelers with Mason Rudolph as the quarterback. Don't come to me about impressive wins for Chicago. You beat the Steelers with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback. And you beat them by 3. You nearly blew that game, by the way, too. We're not doing this with the Chicago thing. Listen, Chicago has, I will give Chicago an opportunity. Once you make the playoffs, everybody has a fair chance. Once you make the postseason, it's 0-0. Everybody has a fair chance to go on a run. And maybe Chicago can do what Washington did last year. Washington got to the NFC Championship game. They won 2 playoff games. No one expected it. Maybe Chicago gets to the NFC Championship game. Who knows? They got a fair shot. But you're not going to sit here and try to tell me that this Bears team is this huge juggernaut team or this high tier level team. They're a good team. They're playing well. Congrats to them. They're going to make the playoffs. I wish them the best of luck. But if we're going to compare them to teams like LA and Seattle, no. We're not doing that, bro. We're not. You're not a Bears fan, and you're going to bat for Chicago based off of look at who they've beaten and look at the way they've beaten them. And you talked about luck for the Niners, but you're going to forget the amount of luck that played into some of the wins that Chicago has. Chicago's a good team. They're a good team. They're going to make the playoffs. Shout out to them. But dog, come on, man. We're not doing this. We're not going to talk about Chicago being that serious threat in the NFC when you got the NFC West right there. If Chicago and Seattle met in the postseason, if Chicago and LA met in the postseason, based off of what we've seen in the regular season right now, playoffs, everything 0-0, I give them a fair shot. But if we're making our assessments based off of what we've seen in the regular season, there's nothing here that would sit back and say Chicago would be able to beat anybody from the NFC West if they met up in the playoffs. They're a good team. They got a good chance to finish things off and win the division over the Packers. They're going to be able to have a home playoff game. If they play their cards right, they may have a great shot to potentially get the number 1 seed. Who knows? They're a good team. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this Chicago team is a serious juggernaut, especially given the fact that we know who they've beaten and we know how they've beaten them. Their most impressive win was Friday against the Eagles. Shout out to them for beating Philadelphia. That's their most impressive win of the season. Other than that, some of these wins, bro, listen, you play who's in front of you. You play your schedule. A lot of these games could have gone either way. They beat the Vikings 19-17. Come on. No, we're not having these conversations, man. We're not. But again, I've seen this every year. There's a team or two that people will buy into and say, oh, man, people didn't think they'd be great, and here's the record. Yeah, records don't tell the full story of how a team is. Records do not tell the full story. I'm sorry. No matter how much you want to buy into it, the record does not tell the full story. Everybody remembers the 11-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. It's one of the most fraudulent 11-0 teams we've ever seen. And they paid the price by getting whipped by Cleveland in their building. Pittsburgh was at home when they got spanked by the Cleveland Browns. Fakest 11-0 team we've ever seen. And I'm not saying Chicago's fake. I'm just saying they're not this juggernaut team that you're trying to make them out to be. They got a shot. Just like everybody in the NFC has a shot. But if I was to put money on it, in terms of who's coming out of the NFC, it's going to be someone from the NFC West. Because those are the teams you don't want to face off against come January. Nobody wants to see Seattle's defense. The Niners, as they get healthier and healthier, you don't want to deal with them. And the Rams, with that high-octane offense, good luck stopping them. And their defense is solid enough to make stops. I'm just saying, the NFC West is probably going to be the team that's going to be representing the NFC. Especially if Philadelphia can't get their crap together. As for the AFC, it's a coin toss. It's a coin toss. You might as well root for the Rams because the AFC North is discussing this season. Yeah, that actually brings me back to my topic of discussion. God, we were supposed to talk about the AFC North, but the AFC North has been so trash, we sat back and said, let's talk about the rest of the league. Oh my God, the AFC North has been that garbage, we would rather talk about the rest of the league, which is fine because the rest of the league is actually playing some good football. The rest of the league is literally playing good football. And yeah, Devontae Adams got a great shot with the Rams. LA can certainly get to the Super Bowl. But yeah, dude, I'm not even lying to you, man. the Ravens are really embarrassing. Like, usually the NFC South would be the embarrassment, but technically the South's at least been decent. Actually, no, the Saints still embarrassing everybody. At least Cleveland's still technically alive for the playoffs. The Saints have already been eliminated. But still, the Ravens in the AFC, they're just embarrassing everybody in the AFC. The Ravens, the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Browns. The AFC North in general, you're just embarrassing everybody in this conference. My goodness. So let's get back into the AFC North talk. So it's officially Steelers week, everybody. I have to correct you on that. Pittsburgh get beat by the Browns back to back. Yes, you're right. You're right. Oh my God, they did get beat. Oh my God, they did get beat. They got beat by the Browns in the regular season. Steelers fans acted like it didn't matter because like it's a regular season. It don't matter. That was the whole nameless gray faces crap that was said. And then they went to Pittsburgh and smoked them. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm a Bengals fan. Hey man, I don't think you guys should be embarrassed. I think you guys should be pissed off. Cincinnati's not going to win the division. You're probably not going to win the division. And it's not going to be your fault. Somehow Baltimore or Pittsburgh is going to luck their way into this division. And Cincinnati's going to be one game short. You can book me on that. It'll be just like last year. They'll be one game short of the division. Baltimore or Pittsburgh's going to luck their way into the AFC North crown. And it's going to be really disgusting because Cincinnati needs to win out, which, again, they got to beat Buffalo next week. We'll see how that goes. But they have to win out. Baltimore has to lose at least one game, and I think it has to be specifically against the Bengals. And then the Steelers have to lose 2 games. So, like, the Steelers got to lose some games, the Ravens got to lose some games, and the Bengals have to win out. Somehow, the Ravens or the Steelers is going to luck their way into an AFC North title, and the Bengals are going to miss out of the playoffs just like that. If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm going to be pissed off. Honestly, the Bengals, this was the year for the Bengals to just take this division with ease. But Joe Burrow got hurt because you guys did not invest in the offensive line. Burrow getting hurt for 2 months took away from an opportunity for the Bengals to just steal this division with ease, in all honesty. And then the defense just actively selling. Joe Flacco was playing great football for them, and the defense sold. The defense sold so many games. If the defense was just competent, Cincinnati's leading this division right now. But the defense was so incompetent that they actively blew games they weren't supposed to blow. And now Cincinnati, even with Joe Burrow back, guess what? It's going to be the classic competitive December. This December, the Bengals are going to be red hot, and they're going to barely miss the playoffs because they just weren't getting it together. They couldn't get it together in September and October, and it's just going to be like, dude, we're going to miss the playoffs again by 1 game. Watch it happen. Watch it happen. Cincinnati's going to miss out on the playoffs by 1 game just because the football gods are unfair to Cincinnati. At some point, y'all got to look at this and say, man, it's time to make some changes. Fire your defensive coordinator. Actually, I can't even say fire your defensive coordinator. What talent do you have on the defense? Look at the crap he's working with. Guys weren't making tackles. I'm not even going to say fire your defensive coordinator. Fire Zach Taylor, okay? Fire Zach Taylor. Actually invest in the defense and the offensive line and run it back next year. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Bengals D didn't sell against the Ratbirds. Yeah, they didn't. If the Bengals defense was playing like that against, I don't know, the Bears, they would have won. If they were playing like that throughout the season, they wouldn't be 4-8. What are they? 4-8 right now? If the defense was playing like that all year, they wouldn't be 4-8. Congrats on beating the Ravens. Good on you. It's going to be very frustrating when the Bengals miss the playoffs by 1 game because they couldn't handle their job in holding down the fort when Flacco was playing great and the defense was blowing it against Chicago. Congratulations on beating the Ravens. Now watch as the Ravens or Steelers represent the AFC North in the playoffs when it really should be the Bengals just because you guys sold in September and October. But congrats on beating the Ravens. Congrats on the defense showing up then. Where was that defense when you were faced off against Chicago when you needed them to? Where was that defense then? A lot of games the defense sold that you should have won when you had Flacco. If your defense would have done their job in September and October, you'd be leading this division. Now you might miss out on the playoffs for the 4th straight year because your defense didn't show up and Joe Burrow was hurt. But hey, you beat the Ravens. Way to go. Good luck good luck against Buffalo next week. I'm just saying. Good luck to Buffalo next week. Yeah. And they lost to the, oh my God. If they would have done their job against the Jets. If you would have done your job against the Jets, maybe you wouldn't be in this situation. Bengals. If there was any year for Cincinnati to take the division, this would have been the year. Hey. We just need to win. Ratbirds lose to the Steelers is over. You keep having that same optimism you guys do every year. When you miss the playoffs by 1 year, understand that your defense, you shouldn't have lost to the Jets. You'll go back and realize you shouldn't have lost to the Jets. You shouldn't have lost to the Bears. Congratulations on being, we just need to win. Good luck in Buffalo. You do that. I hope you realize winning out isn't going to be enough for you guys to get it. You need to win out, and Baltimore and Pittsburgh got to lose out. So keep talking this trash because you got nothing else to do. Your team's probably going to be sitting home in January. Don't worry. Don't worry. If it's Baltimore, they'll be out. You'll see them go one and done. If it's Pittsburgh, they're definitely going one and done. We'll join you guys in the couch in January. Don't worry. We will join you guys in the couch in January. We ain't doing nothing this year. Whole division sucks. But feel free to talk trash because you're just right up there with the rest of us. Everybody in this division is complete garbage. So feel free to talk your trash. It ain't gonna mean nothing because we all stink. So feel free to talk your trash. Steelers fans have conceded they want Tomlin gone. Ravens have been actively hoping for John Harbaugh to be gone. Maybe you should take this as an opportunity to say, you know what? We missed the playoffs again with Joe Burrow here and all this other stuff. Maybe this is time for Zach Taylor to go. Instead of being one of those fans that say, we should use this opportunity to get Zach Taylor the hell out of here, you want to still talk trash. Talk trash. When the Bengals don't make the playoffs again, what are you going to do? Just say, let's run it back next year? You've been running it back for 3 years now. The division stinks. We all stink. Changes need to be made. Zach Taylor got to be fired. They need to invest in that defense, and they need to invest in that offensive line so Joe Burrow can stop getting hurt. But you keep talking trash, buddy. You ain't got nothing else to do. When you sit in the couch in January, just like the rest of us, that's cool. You're not going to make the playoffs, dude. Say whatever crap you want. Keep talking your trash. When Cincinnati's sitting on the couch in January, you will sit back and call for Zach Taylor's job. Because all you talk about, Joe Burrow can be playoff mode as much as you want. When the Bengals defense sells you again, you will sit back and call for Zach Taylor's job. It's the same nonsense, bro. When your defense sells you again, you will call for Zach Taylor's job. I don't even know what's going on with this division anymore. Why do you still have fans trash talking? We all stink. Your team's 4-8. We're 6-6. The Steelers 6-6. The rest of the conference is actually playing good football. We're the worst division in football right now, and you have the nerve to trash talk. We stink. Everybody in this division stink. Have some class. Have some class, dude. Why am I dissing Cincinnati? Because just like Cincinnati and Baltimore and Pittsburgh, everybody in this division is wasting talent. Baltimore's wasting a Hall of Fame quarterback. Cincinnati's wasting a Hall of Fame quarterback. Pittsburgh has wasted a not even legendary defense. They've wasted a Hall of Fame defender. Keep down. You said this crap last year and you missed the playoffs. You said it last year and you missed the playoffs. You said it 2 years and missed the playoffs. How many years do we got to keep doubting? Wake up. Use this as an opportunity to get rid of Zach Taylor. Don't be dumb. Use this as an opportunity to get Zach Taylor out of here. I'm so sick and tired of the fans always doing the keep doubting. Keep doubting. We've been doubting. You keep losing. You missed the playoffs last year when y'all said y'all keep doubting. Keep doubting. Keep doubting. Y'all lost and didn't make the playoffs last year, and then you cried and said the Broncos purposely threw the game so that you couldn't make the playoffs. So when you miss the playoffs this year, after the keep doubting conversations, you're going to sit back and say, y'all got cheated, or we would have won this if Joe wasn't healthy. Take this as an opportunity to get Zach Taylor the hell out of here. Cincinnati needs to make some serious changes. Get Zach Taylor out of here. Get a new head coach. Invest in the defense. Get an offensive line, and Cincinnati will be back in the Super Bowl. It's not even a discussion. Baltimore is actively wasting a Hall of Fame quarterback. Pittsburgh's never going to get it together unless they get a quarterback. Cincinnati has a real chance to get this over, and you're talking about keep doubting us. You have a real chance to make some serious changes before you waste a Hall of Fame quarterback and a future Hall of Fame wide receiver. You have some serious chances to make the... Zach Taylor ain't going nowhere if y'all make the... No, all right, bro. I'm not wasting my time. I ain't wasting my time, bro. I'm not wasting my time. You keep being the delusional Bungles fan. I'm not wasting my time with this. There's a real chance that you have an opportunity to make some real changes here. You have an opportunity to make some real changes, and this buddy over here talk about keep doubting us. We doubted you last year and you missed the playoffs. We doubted you the year before you missed the playoffs. You've been missing the playoffs. People been doubting you. You keep missing the playoffs. You done nothing. Use this as a chance to be like, you know what? We got to get Zach Taylor the hell out of here. It's another lost year. We can't keep wasting years of Joe Burrow's career like that. Get Zach Taylor out of here. Invest in the defense. We can run this back next year and take this division. Instead, buddy want to be like, keep doubting us. We finna in the worst division in football. Come on, bro. And this dude he's proudly sitting there and saying this, knowing the defense he got. He's proudly saying this, knowing the type of defense Cincinnati's got. The same defense that cost you against the Jets. The same defense that cost you against the Bears. He's still running his mouth like this. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. And then he has the nerve to be trash talking. We all stink. What are you trash talking for? It's a battle of mid. What are we talking about? And then spoiled Ray, he's still trash talking. We stink. And he's still trash talking. Everybody in the division is terrible, and he's still trash talking. Have some decency, bro. Have some decency, dog. At least Pittsburgh stopped running them out. They're like, dude, we don't care about this trash talk anymore. Let's get Tomlin out of here and actually look to go get a quarterback. Have some decency, bro. Have some decency. Good God, man. This team's 4-8, and he's actively trash talking. Have some decency. Everybody in our division stinks. Have some decency. Have some self-awareness, bro. Holy crap. Team 4-8, they still running their mouth. Gotta give some of these guys credit, man. This must be all. Y'all really locked in for this, bro. I don't know how many 4-8 teams can run their mouth, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Team's 4-8. My team's 6-6. I can't even talk about these dudes in public. We technically lead in the division. I don't want to speak about these guys. You over here proudly pumping up your chest and talking trash. Your team 4-8. You got one of the worst defenses in football, and he's pumping his chest up proudly. 4-8 team running his mouth. There's no way, bro. There's no way. And this is what they talk about when they come to these poverty franchise. I ain't even trying to go in there. But this is what they be talking about when it comes to these poverty franchises. I keep telling people, everyone wants to talk about, when they talk about poverty franchises, man, that fan base is so cool. That fan base is so chill. That fan base is so nice. Yeah, because their team stink. They ain't got nothing else to do. You give them a level, you give them an ounce of success. They start running their mouth, bro. But Brandon, I'm doing this for your own good. Again, I know it's not, I'm doing this for your own good. You guys have a future Hall of Fame quarterback. You have the capability to take this division and go somewhere, bro. You have an opportunity, my guy. Use this criticism to take a look at the team, make some serious changes, and you got this. Get Zach Taylor the hell out of there. Get a real head coach. Invest in the defense. Get some protection for Joe Burrow. Ain't nobody gonna touch y'all next year. Really, I'm just being honest. And I ain't really dissing you. I'm more so dissing the nerve of these fans. And this is what we talk about. I'm not saying you, Brandon, but sometimes you get in these poverty franchises, bro. These poverty franchises that haven't won anything or haven't had success. They get a little bit of success and they start running their mouth. They start running their mouth they start running their mouth in a way they ain't never ran their mouth before. You get a little success and they start running. And I find it hilarious, bro. Have some shame, bro. How are you, your team 4-8 and you talking trash? Come on, bro. I'm cool. The Bengals defense had that bank empty. Congratulations. You, a trash team, beat another trash team. We all trash. You are bragging. Your team's trash and you're bragging about beating a fellow trash team in your division. What are you bragging for? Oh my goodness. Dude, do you have no sense of shame? Have some shame, dude. Have some shame. Oh my God, have some shame. I'm begging you to have some shame, bro. Okay, have some shame, bro. Please, bro. Have some shame. Have some shame. Have some shame and self-awareness. Have some shame. My team, have some shame, bro. That's cool. Burrow could have beaten the past two. Guess what? The only thing you can say about your era, what coulda, woulda, shoulda. You could have made the playoffs last year, you didn't. You should have did this. You could have done this. You would have done this. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's been the main mantra for the Bengals their entire franchise. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. You haven't done crap. Please, 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 please have some shame. Have some shame. Brandon, you good. I know you got some shame. I know you one of the fans that have some self-awareness about your team and actively hope that your front office makes the changes to get you back to where you need to get to. Because if you move off of Zach Taylor, you actually invest in the defense and invest in the offensive line, you get a new head coach, bring in a new coaching philosophy, and Joe Burrow stays healthy, sky's the limit for Cincinnati. They can really win something. They've already proven it. No one's even talking about the Pats. Dude, nobody's talking about the Patriots. Not a single person has mentioned the Patriots. Have some shame, dude. This gotta be a teenager, bro. There ain't no grown man this gotta be a teenager. I know this dude a teenager. Ain't no grown man talking like this. This gotta be some teenager that's just here to troll on a Monday night. Probably got school in the morning. You ain't got nothing else to do. Oh. I know you got to be a teenager. Ain't no grown man not have this self-awareness. A grown man that been watching this team for 30 years will not be talking about like this. No, you got to be a teenager just trolling on a Monday night. You got to be a teenager. You got to be a teenager. I didn't say a single talk, and I know you new to my channel. I know you knew. You got the wrong one. What talk did I have? Check this dude. What talk did I have? Aren't I the same one that sit back and talked about this team saying I got zero expectations for them because I know how they operate? I know this dude's new here. Gotta be some teenager running his mouth. Bro, you got school in the morning. Please, please. It is 12 a.m. Go to bed. You got school in the morning, dog. This ain't your time to be trolling on the internet. You got school tomorrow. Ain't no grown man speaking like this. And if you're a grown man speaking like this, you in the same category as Zim. That's just pathetic. And if you in the same category as Zim, pathetic. Pathetic. Bro, go to bed, dog. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Please, I'm begging you to go to bed. Go to bed, dog. Go to bed. You got school in the morning. You got school in the morning. I don't know. Maybe you got Nah, I'm not going to say calculus. You got algebra in the morning. The last time the Bengals made the playoffs, they went on a run. So the playoffs feel magical if they can just make it there. The thing is, one, you got to have Joe Burrow stay healthy. Two, the defense has to do their jobs. Honestly, I said this when Joe Burrow went down. I sat back and said, all you got to do is hang around 500. And Joe Burrow comes back, you'll make the playoffs. The division was not playing well this year. Boy, go to bed, bro. Crawley, go to bed. You got school in the morning. Go to bed. Go to bed, bro. You got school in the morning. I'm not here for the troll. Go to bed. We're not trying to listen to no teenagers run their mouth trolling about a 4-8 team. Go to bed, Crawley. It's 12 o'clock. You got school at 9 a.m. Go to bed. Please. Go to bed before your mom got to take your phone. Go to bed. But yeah, all your defense needed to do was hold. There was games. You shouldn't have lost to the Jets. You shouldn't have lost to the Bears. If your defense would have just been able to hold up in those games, honestly, you'd be around 500. I do watch the Winter Olympics, and I'm pretty sure we have them coming up soon. So, yeah, I'll definitely be watching those. I watch both the Summer and Winter Olympics, so, I'll be watching that when it comes up. But, yeah, if the defense was just able to hold, like legitimately, if the defense was able to hold, Cincinnati would be leading this division because they wouldn't have lost the game to the Jets and they wouldn't have lost the games to the Bears. And right now, they'd be first place. Yeah, the Bengals choked against the Jets. You got this teenager running in his mouth talking about choking like his team didn't choke against the Jets. Like I said, they choked against the Jets. They blew it against the Bears. Again, it's just the defense has to hold up in these games. It's always been about the defense for Cincinnati. If the defense plays well, it'd be fine. Defense hasn't played well. If we ever face off in the playoffs, I swear to God, y'all better win. I'd be so insufferable to you, Bong. Again, I know what you mean, face off in the playoffs with Lamar there, because we did face off against Cincinnati in the playoffs with Tyler Huntley. We did lose that game. That was more on Tyler Huntley fumbling the ball at the goal line, because, if he holds onto the ball, they were at the 1-yard line. They score there. They're up 24-17 instead of being down 24-17. Dude, our O-line is going to get everybody hurt. Get Falele off the damn team. We need to get a new offensive lineman. Bengals lose to the Jets all the time. Did it the year they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's good for you. Now, you shouldn't be losing to trash teams. You choked against the Jets. You blew it against the Bears. If you guys would have done your job there, you'd be leading the division. Congrats on losing to the Jets. I'm glad you are proudly admitting that you guys lose to the Jets all the time. That's not a good thing because the Jets are never a good team. So congrats on always losing to bad teams. Maybe that's probably why you guys haven't been able to get it done. But hey, I mean, you made the Super Bowl for the first time in 30 years. It's most success you guys have had since the 80s. Then again, you weren't around then. So, you're going to have to hold on to this probably for another 30 years because y'all certainly ain't going to win nothing because y'all want to make changes. Now that I'm thinking about it, the Bengals D didn't really hold the Ravens. We just had 5 turnovers. No, I think the Bengals did. I think they did a pretty good job in some of the drives. They did a decent job in stalling in some of those drives. But yeah, the 5 turnovers do play a role. But I think the defense actually did a pretty good job in that game. I do give credit to the Bengals defense. I think that was one of the better games they played. That's cool. We lose to Minshew all the time. It happens. That's cool. And we haven't gotten the job done. Maybe you don't consistently lose to bad teams. We've been consistently losing games like that. And I've spoken on it. And I've said losing games like that could come back to bite you. Because you shouldn't be losing games like that. You shouldn't. At least not consistently. If it happens occasionally, it happens occasionally. But we've consistently lost games like that. And I pointed to those moments as to why we can't get it done in January. Shouldn't be consistently losing those type of games. We need to go back to rotation on the O-line. They're not going to do that. Dude, did you see how Harbaugh was talking about Emory Jones? That's great. Dude, go to bed, man. It's 12 o'clock. You got algebra in the morning. Go to bed. I don't need no teenager here running his mouth. Go to bed, dude. Go to bed. You got school in the morning. Who do you got making the NFC? Who do I got making it out of the NFC now that the Rams lost? I still have a lot of confidence in the Rams. Like I said, I feel like I gotta give the Panthers some credit. They do play some good. They got a good defense and they do play some good football. I haven't changed my mind on the Rams. I still believe the Rams are the team coming out of the NFC. I haven't changed my mind. Then if there's a team that's gonna beat the Rams, it'll have to be a team in their own division. So Seattle or San Francisco, if they match up with them in the playoffs, would be the team I'd look at. But I still like the Rams, and I still think the Rams are gonna get to the Super Bowl. So I'm a Steelers fan. I feel empty. I don't blame you, dude. After a loss like that, I saw a lot of you guys were actively chanting for Mike Tomlin to be fired. So, again, I know you guys actively want change. And I don't know, man. It's a toughie. It's a toughie. It's a very toughie. Our only weakness is our O-line and coaching. O-line is bad. Please win the ball. Funny things, we'll have to talk about this a little bit more when it comes to the Ravens-Steelers game. Bengals ran all over the Steelers defense. Guarantee you Baltimore will not be doing that on Sunday. Who's got the best chance against the Rams? The Seahawks. Seattle has the best chance against the Rams. That defense. Again, Sam Darnold has to not turn the ball over a million times. But if Sam Darnold doesn't turn the ball over a million times, Seattle probably wins that game. Don't feel bad, Corey. We lost to the Bills, too. That was when we actually looked like a good offense. Feels so long ago. We choked that game. We do a lot of choking. We've been choking for a while now. So if we do find a way to win the Super Bowl, should we still fire John? I don't know. We're playing the if games right now. I don't know. We're playing the if games attitude. I don't know. If they somehow win the Super Bowl, they're not firing John. Even if they don't win the Super Bowl, they're not firing John. We keep talking about them firing John. I keep telling you guys they're not going to fire John Harbaugh. Lamar should go on IR for real. You one of the people that want him traded? No. I've never, ever said I wanted Lamar traded. Lamar's not going on IR. Just because he's dealing with injuries is not. He hasn't had none of the injuries he's been dealing with has been enough for him to ultimately go on IR and miss time. And I've never said I wanted Lamar traded. You got the wrong guy. You got the wrong fan for the Ravens. I've never said I want him traded. Never said that. And he's not going on IR. Even with all he's dealing with from the hamstring to the knee to the ankle to the toe. He's dealing with injuries all over his damn leg. He's still playing through it. He's not going on IR. That's just not how things work. Everyone's banged up at this point in the season. You just got to play through it. He's checked out. That has nothing to do with me. You talk to him whether he's checked out or not. I don't know if he's checked out. You talk to him about that. You feel free. Twitter is there. You want to waste your time at 12 in the morning to go text Lamar, hit him up in the DMs, and say, buddy, you look checked out. You do that. I'm not Lamar. I ain't going to speak for the guy. Wish the Clippers could start winning and stop losing. I'm glad they took the L today. They were going up against my Heat, so I'm glad they took the L. But Everybody's in serious fear right now because the Clippers keep losing games, and they're just every loss is getting OKC a step closer to getting that lottery pick. They really gonna get a top 5 pick? Oh my God, OKC really gonna get a top 5 pick? Oh no! And Sam Presti knows how to draft, bro. He's not gonna miss. Oh my God, he gonna find somebody that's perfect. Oh no. Oh, the Thunder really about to build this dynasty the right way, and nobody can be mad at it. Oh my God. Everybody throwing hella shade and hate towards Shea because of the free throws, and they constantly call the foul baitings. Oh my God. They're gonna be taking over the league, and everybody gonna be hating it. Oh boy. Woo, well, good luck to the Western Conference. Y'all gotta deal with that. I'm in the Eastern Conference. You know. I ain't gonna focus on that. I'm focused on dealing with, whatever's happening in the East right now. If they wanted to fire John, they would have been with McDonald. Potentially. John Harbaugh says Emory Jones looks like a rookie. Yeah, because he is a rookie. I would assume a rookie looks like a rookie. Harbaugh coaches like a rookie. Emory was better than 72 and your useless pet project, John. Yeah, unfortunately, Falele is not moving from that spot. If any, like I told you guys weeks ago, if I told y'all weeks ago, if Emory Jones sees the field, he's taking Voorhees' spot. He's not taking Falele's spot. I don't see another win for the Steelers except the last game against the Ravens. Hell, I don't think that. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is not healthy. His hand is. He's not healthy, and I don't think Mason Rudolph's going to lead you to anything. Oh, hold on. Give me a second, guys. Yeah? All right, we back. Let's see. SGA still flopping like a fish. That's just how he plays. Blame the Clippers for the Thunder dynasty. Yeah, the trade for Paul George. Again, they had no choice. If they were gonna get Kawhi, they had to make that trade. Again, I wish they didn't give up all those damn draft picks. It would have been better if they would have gave up more players, but not draft picks. That's the thing. They gave up all those future draft picks. If it would have been more players, it's fine. They got finessed. The sad part is, most teams would have made that deal to get Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi wanted to go to LA. There was a strong chance, even though he didn't want to play with LeBron, he actively wanted to be in LA. If the Clippers don't make that move, Kawhi goes to the Lakers, and then that's a wrap. The Clippers were so afraid of Kawhi going to the Lakers, they made that trade, and it did not work out. Now you got Kawhi and Harden there, and they can't even win a basketball game consistently. That's pathetic. Embarrassing. I'm not a Wizards fan. I do show love to the Wizards, but I'm a Heat fan. Dude, John is always going to make these comments for people that it's not really his guy, and then people that are his guys, he will. Lamar better get that Ray Lewis treatment. He go retire Raven. Well, that's not my call. Truly believe John Harbaugh has more power than EDC with all the coaching malpractice he gets away with. Well, that is what it is. I can't answer that question. Once Voorhees get replaced, Falele got beat. Is what it is. I agree, and I think when Ozzy stepped back and John and his seniority rise, things goes into a rut. That's something I could do again. He's got a lot of power there. I don't believe he's checked out, but wouldn't blame him considering he has to run for his life. We play every play because they refuse to make necessary changes to the O-line. He's also not where he needs to be. But hey, according to, the Lamar fans that constantly track everything Lamar does, we back. Some dude called Lamar overrated after the Bengals loss. He saw that and he tweeted, "Say less." So I guess we're back. So I guess Lamar finna cook the Steelers next week. I don't know. If the Ravens win the division this year, I really think they can make a Super Bowl run despite what's happened so far. Will. We Ravens fans have made that exact statement specifically because we've tried to make the correlations with 2012 and 2000. We have made the argument that the Ravens have won their 2 championships in years where they weren't even favored going to the playoffs. Nobody looked at them to do anything serious. The 2000 Ravens had a legendary defense, but they had one of the worst offenses in the league. They went 7 games without scoring a touchdown. They went into the postseason where nobody looked at that team and thought they were going to go all the way to win the Super Bowl. They liked their defense, but they felt it could be a day where somebody could put up 14 points, and that offense was so terrible they would lose. So they thought they could lose, they wouldn't be able to go far. That defense carried them all the way to a damn Super Bowl, and then in the Super Bowl, the offense showed up against the Giants. The 2000 Ravens weren't expected to win, but they did. 2012 was even worse because of the chaos that happened. We were 5-1 at some point. Ray Lewis suffers a season-ending injury. He goes down. Everything goes haywire. We go on a losing streak where the mutiny happens. Everything's going to hell. We're getting beat by teams that we shouldn't be getting thrashed by. Everything is on the line. We nearly missed the playoffs, but we win week 16 against the New York Giants to secure the AFC North to get us that home playoff game. We nearly missed the playoffs in 2012. No one talks about that. We nearly missed the playoffs because we were teetering. Ray Lewis comes back at the end of the year, tells the squad this is the General's last ride, and they go on that run. And even with that run, that game in Denver, one of the greatest playoff games of all time, in my opinion, my favorite playoff game, it was chaos. Then we had a punt return and a kick return touchdown from Trenton Holiday. Our defense showed up because they picked off Peyton Manning twice. One was a pick six. Corey Graham had 2 picks in that game. He was cooking. It was crazy. It took a Hail Mary from Jacoby Jones, rest in peace, to tie the game. So much chaos happened in 2012 to even get to the Super Bowl and then win. So the only thing we're hoping is that we got to follow the path of the 2012 Ravens. And if we somehow end up winning the division at 9-8, we better hope we're the 2011 Giants. The 9-7 Giants that won us, we better be the 2011 Giants. So all we can do at this point is just hope we are one of those rare miracle teams. That's all you have. And I would not be surprised if they pull it off. The years we're dominant, win 13, 14 games, get the number 1 seed, we end up choking. But the years where we're garbage, we're going through the motions, barely make the playoffs in one of the worst divisions in football, we go on to win the Super Bowl. It would be such a Ravens thing to do that, and nobody would be surprised. Am I predicting that to happen? No. Could I see it happen? Yes, because I've already seen that happen in 2012. It's such a Ravens thing to just be an up and down, inconsistent team. Nobody looks at them as a threat in a wide open AFC. And they get in the playoffs, they barely make it, they survive and sneak into the playoffs and then go on a run. It could very well happen. And I don't think anybody will be surprised because the Ravens have won 2 championships by doing that exact same thing. They can't win when they're the favorites. They can't win when they're dominating teams in the regular season. They just have to be a team that sneaks in as the underdog and go on a run. That's just how this franchise works. I would not be surprised if that happens, but I'm not predicting it to happen. Herbert got hand surgery, is now questionable for Monday Night Football versus the Eagles. Well, I'm glad he got the hand surgery, and hopefully he'll be fine. One of Tomlin gone since 2023 because losing to the 2-10 Cardinals and 2-10 Pats in a 4-day span, both at home. I'm tired of seeing the non-losing season stats. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah, Wizards ain't never going to see a championship. They ain't see one anytime soon. Can't believe Giannis lost the worst team in the NBA. It happens. And again, I don't know. Also, the fact that I have an uncle who's a Cowboys fan, and a friend who's a Packers fan, and a cousin who's a Chiefs fan, also when the Steelers Ravens play, I think that's crazy. You got a bunch of family and friends with different teams. The difference between those teams, we had leaders back then. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We have leaders back then. That's why I could see it happening, but I don't believe it's going to happen. Who's the leader in the locker room? Who's going to rally the troops? I don't think we have a definitive leader in this locker room. In 2000 and 2012, you had Ray Lewis. Honestly, this franchise has not been the same since Ray Lewis has left the building. Unless Ray Lewis plans to travel with the team in the postseason, I don't see how they pull that off. Ray Lewis will have to be, okay, home playoff game, Ray Lewis is going to be there. But if somehow they got to go on the road, do you think Ray Lewis follows them? Ray Lewis is going to have to be in that locker room if they're going to get it done. That's just it. Because I don't think anybody in that locker room is going to step up and be a leader. I don't think Roquan Smith's going to rally the troops. That's just not going to happen. We'll see what happens, man. Are we supposed to turn into the 2007 Giants that went to Super Bowl and defeated the undefeated? I mean, I don't expect that to happen. I wouldn't bet on it. Yeah, we nearly choked and blew that Super Bowl lead. No one talks about that. Oh, trust me, I've been talking about that. You've been here when I've been talking about that. Well, you have absolutely been here when I've talked about that. If you add up Harbaugh's playoff meltdowns, it's quite a list. And 2012 was so close to that. We got so lucky. Oh, boy, Josh, you know I talked about that. As if I haven't been here talking about that 3rd and 19 play against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2010 divisional round when the entire defense let Antonio Brown get behind them. As if I haven't brought that up. As if I haven't brought in 2014 when we went in Foxborough against the New England Patriots and had 2 14-point leads and blew it and got smoked on a trick play to get them a touchdown. I still remember. I ain't forget that. I remember all the losses we've had. Oh, trust me, I've been here for this, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've talked about those games. We've had discussions on this channel about those choking performances. That 3rd and 19 play still pisses me off. Though in 2008, I wouldn't say 2008 was a choke job. We were not beating that defense, bro. It just pissed me off in 08 because we got beat 3 times, man. We did not beat the Steelers once in 08. And in that AFC Championship game, man, it was a dream. It was a real dream. But let's be real, we were not about to walk into Heinz Field with a rookie Joe Flacco and beating the #1 defense in football. That just wasn't going to happen. Polamalu picked that off and took it to the house, and I was like, game over. 16-14. Still remember the score. Flacco just forcing the ball on 3rd down. Like, bro, just, you see that guy. You see, with the long flowing hair, you know not to throw to this guy's direction. I know you're a rookie, but damn, I know they had to tell him. You know, face off against him twice. I don't care what the situation is. We can punt the football. We got a defense that gonna make a stop. Worst case scenario, they get a field goal. You get back on the field, try to win the game with a game-winning touchdown. Don't throw it in the direction of Polamalu. Man had to make the most rookie mistake in the worst moment possible. Why did he throw that direction? I don't understand. Polamalu is not a difficult man to see. You can see his hair. Don't throw. If you see any long flowing hair, don't throw in that direction. It was as simple as that. Why did he throw that pass? Why did he throw that pass? 17 years later, why did he throw that pass? Ain't nobody tell him to throw that pass, man. I don't care. Dirt the ball and let's punt the football, man. It was a 2-point game. Our defense would have held. The hell are you throwing towards Polamalu for? God. We were probably still going to lose that game. We were not scoring a touchdown on that defense. There was no way that defense was going to let us go down the field with the game on the line. It wasn't going to happen. Not that defense. The 08 championship game might be the last remnants of real great football, like true physical football. That game was brutal. 08 Steelers were better than us, but we still kind of melted down. We had a rookie Joe Flacco in Heinz Field in the AFC Championship game against the #1 defense. What were we expecting? Like, realistically, we weren't going to win that game. like we had already played Pittsburgh in the regular season. We lost by a field goal in Heinz Field. They came to Baltimore in the infamous game that I still stand tall and say Santonio Holmes did not cross the damn pylon. His feet were in the end zone. The ball was outside. They ruled it a touchdown. I will go to my grave saying that was not a touchdown. I don't care. So we lost both those games by a thread. And then we had the AFC Championship game in Heinz Field. We all knew how that was going to go. 2010 division round still gives me nightmares because we had the damn lead and we blew it. We don't need to talk about the old days, bro. This is going back to my childhood. Oh, boy. How do I feel about Emory Jones? I think he was solid in his first action out there. I hope he gets more opportunities out there, but who knows? Um, 09 we lost the Colts. They were actually a lot better. We weren't beating Peyton Manning that year. That was another one of his MVP years. But they did lose to the Saints in the Super Bowl. So, this is what it is. 2014 NFC Championship game. That game was physical and nasty. Um, you mean 2013? You mean the 2013 NFC Championship game? The 2014 NFC Championship game was between Seattle and Green Bay. And actually, wait, was it? Yeah, it was because 2014 was between Seattle and Green Bay. 2015 was between Carolina and Arizona. That game was garbage. We knew Cam was going to the Super Bowl that year. But 2014 NFC Championship game was between the Packers and the Seahawks. That was the game that went into overtime. The comeback by Seattle. They go into overtime. Russell Wilson. I vividly remember saying Russell Wilson must have taken some sort of drug on the sideline because that man came out there for overtime, made 2 throws, and all of a sudden they go to the Super Bowl because Jermaine Kearse makes an amazing catch in the end zone, touchdown, and the Seahawks go to the Super Bowl. And I'm like, what just happened? Also, I never forgot, bro, the onside kick. I was sitting here for the 2014 NFC Championship. I was ready. I was like, all right, bro, we finna have Brady versus Rodgers in the Super Bowl. Okay, Aaron Rodgers going back to the Super Bowl for the first time since he won it in 2010 against the Steelers. We gonna settle this because at that time everyone's like, okay, Brady's the best. Brady's on the GOAT status, but Aaron Rodgers is the best thrower of the football we've ever seen. Aaron Rodgers, and remember, this is far before Brady comes to Tampa Bay for the 2020 NFC title game when they finally get to match up. I'm sitting here watching that game. I'm like, Green Bay is dominating. They're going to win this. It's over. Seattle's making a comeback, but it don't matter. Onside kick. All you have to do is recover the onside kick. And they're going to win, and they're going to the Super Bowl, and we're going to have Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. They couldn't recover. Number 85, I don't know where he is. I don't even remember the name of the player's name, but that dude will always be hated in Green Bay for that. He blew it. All you had to do was catch the damn ball, and you're going to the Super Bowl, and he blew it, and they choked it, and they lost. We were supposed to have 2014 and 2018 both pissed me off because we were supposed in 2014 we should have had Brady versus Rodgers in the Super Bowl, and then in 2018 we should have had Brady versus Breeze in the Super Bowl. We didn't get that. We should have had all-time classic Super Bowls, legitimately. Go take a look at the matchups Tom Brady's had. Again, the quarterbacks he has faced in the Super Bowl. The only one that's matched up at this point is Patrick Mahomes, and at least he destroyed that one. So you got that ring with Patrick Mahomes, but Jared Goff, we'll see how that one ages. But Jared Goff as a Ram, nothing. Not good. Jared Goff as a Ram, not a good memory. Jared Goff as a Lion, that's the way he's making his legacy. But Eli Manning twice, Nick Foles, Donovan McNabb in 04. At least he had that one with Kurt Warner for his first Super Bowl. Like, we could have had Brady versus Rodgers and Brady versus Breeze. And in 2014, a guy not catching an onside kick takes away from that. 2018, the refs not calling a blatant freaking... We're not going to bring it up. Saints should have won that game, and we should have had Brady versus Breeze in the Super Bowl. We should have had, no one talks about this. Brady hasn't really had a lot of those matchups in the Super Bowl. He should have. That's why the Brady versus Mahomes one was interesting to everybody, because it was really one of those times he was going to get it to go up against a worthy competitor. Sometimes sports just don't go. Matt Ryan, 28-3. That is true. That's another one. Hopefully Matt Ryan makes the Hall of Fame so we can at least... I don't think Matt Ryan's going to make the Hall of Fame. I don't think that MVP's... You know what? Take a look at Matt Ryan's... No, I don't think it's going to be enough. People have argued Stafford. They say Stafford, even with his numbers in the Super Bowl, isn't making it. I don't know if Matt Ryan's going to make the Hall of Fame. That's a conversation that I don't see. That'd have to be a difficult conversation. I don't know if Matt Ryan makes the Hall of Fame. Mahomes has played Hurts twice and Jimmy G. He's played Hurts twice, Jimmy G, and Tom Brady, and Brock Purdy. So first one was 2019. He played Brock Purdy. 2020 he played Tom Brady. 2022 he played Jalen Hurts. 2023 he played. So Jimmy Garoppolo was 2019. 2020 was Brady. 2022 was Hurts. 2023 was Purdy. 2024 was Hurts. So yeah, he's played Brock Purdy once, Jimmy Garoppolo once, Jalen Hurts twice, Tom Brady once. Man, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, we don't really get to have a lot of these legendary quarterback battles. We gotta see, Well, it's not gonna happen this year. It's not gonna happen this year with Mahomes. I don't know. Well, if the Chiefs actually miss, if the Chiefs miss the playoffs, then we won't have a Mahomes versus potentially Stafford, which could be a great one in there. I mean, if the Bills find a way to get there, we could have Allen versus Stafford. Um, but Stafford versus honestly, Stafford it was random, but Stafford versus Burrow that could age up as an interesting Super Bowl because it came down to the wire. So that could end up being a memorable Super Bowl. Who knows? It just feels like sometimes in sports we never get the matchups we wanted, and it just feels like we should have. Like with basketball, we never got LeBron and Kobe in the finals. 2009 was the year they were. Y'all remember the puppet commercials that they were having, the constant puppet commercials they were having, like the LeBron and Kobe puppet commercials they were having in '09 because everybody fully expected the Cavs and the Lakers to meet up in the finals just for Dwight Howard to say, no, I want to make my Hall of Fame case now in case my career goes down the drain, so I'm taking this team to the finals. Yeah, like 2009 was the year. 2009 was the year where LeBron and Kobe should have met in the finals. It didn't happen. 2010, the Boston Celtics were resurging because 2009 they were out of it because um, uh, Kevin Garnett suffered a season-ending injury on a routine play he's done a million times. I remember the 53-51 game. I remember that. So yeah, we never got LeBron and we never got LeBron and Kobe in the finals, which is unfortunate. It's just like moments like that in sports. Um, Things didn't work out that way, especially because Jordan retired. But Jordan versus Hakeem would have been interesting. Just moments in sports. Like you really gotta appreciate the Bird and Magic rivalry because we at least got to see that play out. We got to see that play out. They were rivals in college. They both come to the league. One goes to the West, one goes to the East, and they actually get to face off in the finals. Like we want to see those type of moments. You want to see legendary moments on the biggest stage, man. We didn't get to see that. However you feel about it, you got the best of the best. At least with baseball last year, not this year, but last year, with the Yankees and Dodgers, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, at least you feel like you had that matchup. It went 5 games. It wasn't really highly competitive. Game one was competitive, and game five was a choke job by the Yankees. But at least you got to see the matchup in the world in the highest level. So Ohtani and Judge, two of the best players in the game, they got to go head to head, quote unquote. Like we just miss out on those opportunities, and it really sucks that you look at Brady's career and you're like, oh, he's going stuff, but like he didn't get to face, and it's not his fault. I mean, he fulfilled his obligations. He took his team to the dance. It's not his fault his opponents couldn't get there. But we really should have had a moment where we saw Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. That's why the 2020 NFC Championship game holds a lot of weight because Aaron Rodgers won MVP. He had the number one seed in the NFC over Brady because Brady was in the conference. Brady goes to Green Bay to take on the best rec team, the best team in the NFC, and the MVP in Aaron Rodgers. It was A-Rod versus Brady for a trip to go to the Super Bowl. And Brady won that matchup. But we got to see it go down to the wire. We wanted to see that. Yeah, MJ versus Ewing. Yeah. It's another one as well. It's just unfortunate. But 2018 really hurts me because I really wanted to see Drew Brees take on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I think it would have been one hell of a matchup. It would have been a different conversation if it was that. But it don't work out like that in sports sometimes. We're supposed to see some matchups here that we would hope. Hell, even with Mahomes, he hasn't even had those matchups. Um, Jalen Hurts is the best he's had, and hopefully Jalen Hurts will be a Hall of Famer. Hopefully, because other than that, Jimmy Garoppolo's not going to the Hall. Brock Purdy's probably not going to the Hall. He got that matchup with Tom Brady, but he got spanked. So no one's going to remember that matchup. And it's going to be something that people are going to use against him when it comes to the GOAT case. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I wish it was Tom Brady and Drew Brees in 2018. I wish it too, my man. I was just talking about that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. The AFC North is trash. I don't know what else to say. It's Steelers week, and we're going to have to talk about it, I guess, throughout the week. But I just wanted to briefly discuss this. This was technically our therapy session. I just wanted to air out that the team stinks. Like, the team stinks, not the conference. The team stinks, the division stinks. There's initially I would have done a whole thing about the Ravens after losing this game, but watching that game was so deflating that I moved away from football. And then coming back and finding out that the Steelers played worse than we did, and the fans have actively give up, what is there for me to talk about? What is there for me to talk about? The whole division needs to be thrown in the trash. Yeah, the whole coaching staff gotta go. Everything gotta go, bro. There's not much to really say for a therapy session. Ravens turned the ball over 5 times. The offense looked anemic at times. It was a lot of bad football being played. Defense wasn't doing too bad. They bent until they broke. But there's not much to say. After watching the Steelers fan base just deflate the way they did, I don't have anything else to really say for the for therapy session. It's just like this whole I've come to the terms and come to the realization that this division just sucks. Whoever wins ain't doing nothing. The Steelers are actively trying to hand us the division, and we're saying no thank you. Cincinnati's like, if you don't want it, we'll take it. We're trying to get into that. So this division just stinks, man. The division stinks, and there's nothing more that needs to be said or shared. With that being said, guys, I got work in the morning. I am not going to be here all night. It is 12:34 a.m., and I'm going to end it here. We've been on for an hour and a half. I think we've at least done a good job in being able to emphasize that the Ravens are not a good team, but the whole division stinks. And the good news is we actually got to talk about a lot of other teams. You know, we started this just talking about the AFC North, but we really went into a lot of teams. Hey, man. Congrats on winning some money tonight. Both Ravens and Steelers would just keep messing around. The Steelers will do everything to lose the AFC North. Yeah, one of those teams is going to win the division, and if neither one of them wants to win it, Cincinnati is showing some life. Maybe give it to them. I don't know. But, yeah, with that being said, guys, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to go to sleep. It's 12:35, and I am tired. I got work in the morning, and I cannot dilly-dally because I got to get my sleep. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night. It's Steelers week, so we will be back to talk Ravens Steelers, although that's going to be depressing as well because there's nothing to talk about. The Steelers fan base is done with this team, and Steelers are actively giving the Ravens the division. And it seems like the Ravens don't want to take it, so, you know, it is what it is. With that being said, guys, take care. I'll see y'all later. We'll be discussing the Steelers-Ravens game this week. And, man, we're getting closer and closer to the regular season ending, and honestly, I need football to end. I am so tired of this season. The Ravens have been awful. With that being said, good night, everybody. I'll see you later. Be sure to stay safe